Well, hey everybody, welcome to the Paranormal Peeps podcast. We've been rambling for a long time before Josh finally decided to hit record, and probably for good reason.
It's my fault. I'll take
No,
that.
it's good. We were just talking trash about everyone and everything.
About
and,
you.
And politics. And about me? Oh, it was about you at home. We were talking about you.
No.
Just kidding.
Never.
No, we were rambling about kids and dating and yeah. Anyway, so, because we all have teenage kids. We'll just leave it with that. Some of them are actually listening to the show. Well, anyway, welcome to the Paranormal Peeps podcast. It is the Saturday. We're recording this Saturday after St. Patty's Day, so it's been St. Patty's week all week. I hope you had a great week. I hope it was full of green stuff and lots of sugar and gold.
Everybody got to be a little bit Irish.
I do wear green, and I was hoping to get pinched, but it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I'll pinch you anytime you want to be pinched.
Ooh.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah. A little bit more over there. Let's try some of that, please. Anyway, I guess some too. So we do want to talk about some, just in honor of St. Patrick's Day, we did want to talk about some Irish type things that are in the supernatural, paranormal realm, fantasy, whatever you want to call it. Things that go spookiness and bump in the night and some of the legends, folklore, fantasy. I'm rambling.
Why are you looking at me?
I don't know. I'm looking at everyone. Except for Laura.
I look down.
Laura's looking at her phone.
Yeah, I look down so I don't have to make eye contact
She's
with
like,
any of
if I
you.
don't look interested, then they'll leave me alone.
Pretty nice.
So, we did...
Just jumping right in?
well, sure. Well, first, before we do that, let's talk about a couple things. Terry, I think you had some listeners that we've talked to over the last week.
Yeah, I wanted to give a couple shout outs to Kayleen, to Leslie, and to Poe.
Shout out.
Thanks for actually listening to the show and not saying bad things about us.
You three ladies are wonderful.
And for giving constructive feedback. We appreciate it. So keep up the good work. If you have the ability to comment or to rate things, Laura's stroking something.
Laura has a listener's ghost story that was submitted.
Do we do that at the end, though?
If you have any reviews, go ahead and leave us reviews. If you listened on iTunes, I know that's one where you can go in and leave a review.
Review.
Like things.
If you leave us a review, we'll read it.
Make us feel good about ourselves, because things are just sad.
I also wanted just to say how much we're missing one of ours tonight.
Elisa's not here. Holy cow, what happened there?
Not with us.
Where'd she go?
We waited so long for her to show up at our house right now, and we're like, Elisa's not coming.
She just held down on us all.
We miss you, Elisa.
Elisa, we know that you emailed her.
Your family is in our thoughts and prayers.
Hope everything gets better. With that, I do want to just thank everybody for listening so far. I keep thanking people for listening. I'm still shocked that people actually listen to us.
That's a miracle.
It is a miracle, honestly. So, with that, does anybody have anything else to add before we just jump into talking about Irish folklore and spooks?
Who's
here?
Laura was going to...
Oh.
Who's
Oh
here?
my gosh, we haven't even introduced ourselves.
That is a great point.
Josh, it really sucks we don't have an itinerary on this.
I apologize for the lack of organization this week.
We're all over the place.
Well, this is why we don't get paid to do this.
Yeah.
We are a bunch of amateurs and novices.
That's why you listen to us. Though.
Thank you for listening to us. I'm going to do that all day. Thank you for listening. So, just to let you know who's here, I'm the loud and obnoxious and crazy one, wearing a kilt tonight. But I do have stuff underneath because it's a family show, and I didn't want you at home to be worried about that. So, I'm Mike. I'm your guide for the moment. To my left, we have
Josh.
And to his
Jamie?
To his left is Jamie, and
I'm Laura.
And I'm Terry.
Okay, now we know who's here, and Elisa is not with us. She's no longer with us. But she will be back.
What's buzzing?
She's here in spirit.
Sorry, I'll shut it off.
Like,
Wasn't me.
whose phone is buzzing?
No, it was Lars. Lars is playing with things. So, anyway.
All right.
Yeah, okay.
All right.
What's so funny?
Good
Okay,
vibration.
hold on.
He's
Okay, I'll explain it. When that was buzzing, Laura's like, I'm sorry, I'll turn it off.
Oh, I got that. I just skimmed right over
he
it
was
because
explaining
I'm-
to
I was
Jamie
explaining to Jamie.
what she was
Okay.
saying.
Gotcha.
So you did have Laura a review though, right? That you wanted to read?
Totally.
Or no, is it a review or is it a story?
It's a story,
It's a story.
from one of our listeners, Tony.
Is it a good story?
It's a good story.
Is it?
Yeah, it is. It's pretty good.
If it's not, do I get to like be a judge? Can I be like a mean guy and go
Yeah.
like give raspberries?
Let's do like the Gong Show. If you don't
Yes.
like it, let's gong.
Yes.
That really just dated everybody in the room that we actually know what the Gong Show is.
Well, I think there was a remake.
There
of
was
it.
a remake just a couple years ago because the Wicked Tinkers were on it.
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
so you don't have to be too old.
Now
No.
you're saying who's the Wicked Tinkers.
But if you
Pretty
don't,
much.
if you don't know who the Wicked Tinkers are,
You're
they're
not Scottish.
You
they're
need
a
to come to the
Scottish
Scottish
Celtic
festival.
band. And if you don't know what the Gong Show is, it's a game show you go on, and if your act sucked, it's kind of like
America's Got Talent.
America's Got Talent. Instead of like the
The
X's,
3 X's, you just get a gong.
they just get a big gong, and once you got gong, you had to stop.
You were done.
Seriously, go look up the Wicked Tinkers though. You'll enjoy their music.
They're really good. Okay, so this comes from Tony, one of our listeners. We appreciate him listening. And he says, what got me into the paranormal was my first realization that something was different than I'd ever felt before. I was probably about 8 to 10 years old when my mom brought me to visit a relative who had passed during the Civil War in a Confederate prison camp in Andersonville Prison in Georgia. I remember looking out over where Stockade was located, and without really having a true understanding of what happened there, I just felt such sorrow and misery and pain from that area. I was just standing there looking out over the field after having visited the graveyard, and I felt overwhelmed by all of the death that occurred there. It all hit me at one time. And afterwards, I started exploring those feelings with other areas. I was near a tree with some mourning doves in it, and to this day, whenever I hear a mourning dove, it instantly brings me back to that spot, that day, and that feeling I had at Anderson Prison. Thank you, Tony.
Thank you, Tony.
Thank you.
You get a free window clean and a keychain.
I'm not gonna gong you.
Aww.
But it would have been cooler if there would have been like some like gigantic specter that rose out of the ground and then went from like an old lady to like a skeleton thing like in Ghostbusters.
That would have been cool. With
Just
the
saying that would have been
ectoplasma.
right?
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm just teasing you, Tony.
Well, if you want your story read, what do you need to do?
Yeah, if you want your story read, what do you need to do?
Well, you can go to our CPR site on Facebook, and you can message us there. Let us
What's the site?
CPR Cold Spot
What is-
Paranormal Research.
There we go.
So go to Cold Spot Paranormal Research on Facebook and just submit your story. You can do it. I usually will post something, and you can do it in the comments. But if you prefer to do it in Messenger, that's fine too. Submit your story, and if we pick your story to share on our next podcast, we will give you a keychain and some window.
Huzzah.
So you can also come to our Paranormal Peeps podcast group on
Yes.
Facebook as well, and you can share it there.
Yeah,
Alrighty.
they're connected.
So with that being said, check us out on social media. If you haven't been there, let's do it now. We talk about it at the end, but let's do it now. So what are all of our social medias? You can find us on Instagram at
Cold spot _paranormal _research.
got that underscore.
Come
Exclamation
follow
point.
us.
Come follow us. We'll eventually post some amazing things. Actually, we already do.
Well, eventually.
Eventually, I'll get on
Yeah, come
Instagram.
on.
And eventually, I'll start
Yeah, we
actually getting on
posted some
Instagram.
stuff about the Jersey Devil, and
There we go.
yeah, there's stuff that's been posted. There's
So,
a
eventually,
Mari Povich post.
eventually, Mike's going to get on social media. I'm kind of the old fart. If you want to talk to me, call me on my landline.
Send smoke signals.
Send me a letter written in cursive. I'm one of the few people that can still read it. All right. What are other social media places?
You can
platforms?
find us on YouTube at Cold Spot Paranormal Research. And you can also find us on the web right now at paranormalhope.com.
All right. So with that, let's dive into some. We can dive into it and do some Irish lore. So we did. There's so much out there that we could have covered, and you could go through like searching the interwebs. You could go for days and still not learn all the amazing things there are about the Irish lore and some of the fun and scary things and some of the really cool things. So we did have to cut it down to, what did we go, 5? Roughly 5?
Roughly 5.
5.5 maybe? Because those leprechauns are kind of small, so they're kind of half size.
Yeah.
And that's not a racist comment either. They're just little people, so they're just half size. So, except unless you watch Supernatural, and then the leprechaun in that one was full size.
Yeah,
He was full size. So, anyway, let's talk about it. So, Josh, you've got one that you were really excited to talk to us about. Tell us about the Doulahan.
So the interesting thing is the Doulahan is kind of interesting because it spans multiple cultures. So it's also known as the Headless Horseman. So if you think about it from like American culture, right, we have the legend of Sleepy Hollow, and that story is kind of derived from the Doulahan story itself. There's also mention in Arabia. There's a headless horseman type creature in Arabia, and then throughout Europe and itself. This story kind of moves around quite a bit. But according to one legend, the Doulahan came into existence after the 6th century missionaries showed up in Ireland. The Celtic people at the time worshipped many gods, and among them was Crom Doth, a fertility god that required human sacrifices. And the humans were sacrificed by decapitation.
Well, that's nice. Pleasant.
Well, it's one of the better ways to be sacrificed. I'd take that over burning any day.
Yeah, at least it's quick, right?
It's quick.
Allegedly. I don't know. I've never... have you ever asked anybody who's been decapitated how it went?
Well, if you look at a chicken, I mean, they still flap around for a minute, so maybe it's not as quick as we think it is.
It's just like a chicken running around with his head cut off.
That's always possible, right?
Yeah.
But does the brain know? Does the brain feel that? I don't know.
Let's research.
Yeah, let's research. That's our next topic for next week. We're going to talk about ways to die and
And then
how...
when I go
how
and
it
talk
feels.
to Mary Queen of Scots, I'll ask her.
She is an ancestor of ours, so...
I volunteers tribute.
To be beheaded?
What?
She
Laura.
volunteers a tribute to go talk to Mary Queen of
No.
Scots.
I'll
No, we had it,
Let's
right?
go ahead and...
This isn't the Hunger Games. There's no tributes.
No.
We got off way topic.
I tried.
Way off
Sidebar.
I just, in the name of research, I'm willing to help the team. I'm sorry.
How about we just do the bucket of blood on your face?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, so after the Celtic people converted to Christianity, it is said that Crom Doth was so infuriated that it took the form of a headless man and took the name Doulahan.
Which actually means dark man.
Yes,
Did you know
it does.
that? Awesome.
So there's other beliefs out there that the Doulahan is a type of dark fairy tasked with roaming the countryside, collecting the souls of people who are doomed to die. So that kind of sounds more like our kind of belief in like the angel of death, like the Grim Reaper.
The Grim Reaper.
So a Doulahan is described to be dressed in long black cloaks, riding a massive black steed that has sparks and fire shooting from its nostrils and eyes. Other reports have it not just one horse, but a team of 6 demonic horses pulling a carriage.
Either way, if they're shooting fire and stuff, it's like Ghost Riders in the sky. See the Irish influence in country music, country and western music. Ghost Riders. No, that sounds cool. I like the one horse better.
Yeah, the one horse sounds more believable in a sense.
Does it?
It kind of does, actually. It is said that it carries in one hand a whip made from the human spine, and in the other hand a severed head. And then it's said that it is said that the head glows green and acts as a lantern. And when the Dullahan stops, it will cry out the name of the person who is going to die.
So just don't let him stop.
Exactly. And then it's also reported that if the eyes of the head lock or catch you or spot you, that it will use its whip and whip out one of your eyes, or it will drench you in a basin full of blood. But where does the blood come from?
Probably the person who died.
His innards.
His innards. Just carries a bucket of blood inside of him.
Under his cloak.
It's a giant mosquito that just
It
pops.
comes from the head.
Gross.
It's under his cloak. He just pulls it out and
Takes the Tupperware lid off.
Well, here's the thing though. So he stops, right? And he calls out the name of the person who dies, and him calling it out actually pulls the soul or the spirit out of that person who dies, right? That's what it. So maybe somehow he pulls out a little bit more than that, and then just has a little bit of reserve, like a water balloon of blood.
well, he
And
probably
then
got
if you look, he's like, whoosh, and you just bam, and you get smacked in the face with blood.
And he's on a steed. He could have saddlebags in a Tupperware container full of blood.
Gotta keep it
Maybe,
fresh.
or
Pig's blood. It's all pig's blood.
well, it is also said that the horses travel so fast that the friction from their hooves is said to set hedges on fire along the side of the road. Which again, I'm thinking like the movie Ghost Rider with Nicolas Cage. Great show if you haven't seen it. Okay, well it's Nicolas Cage, so
I beg it.
it's okay. I was gonna throw the qualifier in there. It's like it's Nicolas Cage. I mean, come on. But anyway, so the friction sets these horses, everything on fire. So maybe he's just going so fast that it just sucks up blood from something. Something somewhere pops because it's just,
Yeah,
Too much friction.
total sense. Yep.
it's ectoplasm. Maybe it's just ectoplasm.
Ectoplasm.
Yeah.
It's phantasmic blood just falls on you. So it's also said that there is some protection from the Dullahan, unless your name is the one that is called, and then you're pretty much toast. So, and the interesting thing is it's actually gold. So if you drop gold on the ground or carry it, it's reported that the Dullahan will leave you alone.
Just like the weirdest Irish thing at all, because gold is actually, for some reason, it says that he's afraid, has an irrational fear of gold, right? Whereas I thought all the other Irish things were love gold.
Gold is his weakness.
Yeah, it's it's a weakness. But would it make it irrational though? Wouldn't it if you're actually afraid of something, wouldn't it be a rational fear of something?
I don't know, but the one thing that I had on my notes, it said it was an irrational fear of gold, and even a tiny amount might be enough to frighten him off. So as long as you have a pet leprechaun, which we'll get into that, then you're safe, right?
Should be. Or, I just carry a gold nugget in my pocket all the time.
Just get a gold.
Are you sure it's real gold and not pyrite?
Get a gold band, a gold ring.
Gold ring. Woo! Flip him the bird every time he comes by.
But
Make sure the ring's on the right finger.
you have to take it off and throw it at
Mm. These days, everybody has those silicone rings, so
Yeah, that's
sucks to be you kids.
In ancient times, there were festivals for Crom-Doth. And so it is said that during those times, which is late August and early September, that is when the Dullahan is most seen roaming the countryside.
Awesome.
So, does anyone have any wonderful, fun sightings of said creature? No?
I saw him last Thursday.
You were in Ireland last Thursday?
No, I saw him. Sorry, I was on Wednesday. I wasn't every place becomes Ireland on St. Patrick's Day. So.
Oh, that's true.
No, I've never seen, and nor want to ever see. Because if I see it and I watch, then I'm either going to get blood in my face or I'm going to go blind in one eye. Life's hard enough as it is.
Not if you throw your ring at him.
Just throw your ring at him. You're good.
My wife would kill me. I'm more afraid of her than I am of the
Would you
Go
rather
ahead.
your wife kill you or he kill you?
I'll buy you a new one.
What a silicone one? It's like cheaper.
Yeah. Those
Like,
50-cent down
yeah.
at the pizza store.
Yeah, it's a spider ring.
Yeah.
I got it playing skee ball. Okay.
So
So
I took 500 tickets.
That's what I was gonna say.
that's a low number.
No,
For a spider ring?
spider rings are at least 1,000. I mean, come on. We're talking at least $5 of skee ball here before you get a spider ring.
I'm really good at skee ball.
I'm saying if you can turn $5 into 500 tickets on skee ball, that's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, but you can still only get like a spider ring for 500 tickets.
So what I found very interesting in the research for the Dualhan is that we're talking something that was created or showed up in the 6th century, so somewhere around 500 AD-ish. But the first reported or recorded sighting wasn't until 1828. And so you're talking, what, 1,300 years before anything was actually written down
Was
of this
that
creature.
when the first tabloid was created? Was in the 1800s?
Nothing was recorded before that. Tablets before that, weren't they?
I don't know.
Weren't they called almanacs?
I never learned how to read. Yeah, I don't know.
So the interesting thing is the book that it shows up in is called Fairy Legends and Traditions of the South of Ireland. And it was written by a man named Thomas Crofton Croker.
Did he claim to see it?
No, he's actually reporting like accounts from people that have seen it. So he's really reporting secondhand. Right?
So, like interviewing people on.
Yeah, interviewing people that have seen it or had experienced these things.
Well, some of that might go back to the and this is just speculation on my part, but it goes back to the education of the classes. People in Europe, a lot of people were poor and weren't educated back in 15, 16, 17, even back, especially go back to the 600. So yeah, most people weren't educated then. It was only like the people who worked for the royalty or for the church, and even up into the 1700s, even the poorer people, even in the 1800s, people couldn't. A lot of people couldn't read, and so written things were not really common.
That's
True.
Right.
And so a lot of things are oral stories,
Well, and that's true. Like a lot of oral stories and
oral traditions.
things get passed down that way, right? But then, why is it though that if you're talking about you're still talking 1,300 years of oral history of something being there, right? But still, the first notion of anything isn't until 1800. So I get the writing down piece, right? But how is it that no one said, the first known sighting of it was, in like 715, and this is what happened type of deal? Because that stuff's got to get passed down somewhere.
Yeah. My great grandfather said he saw it. That, yeah. I don't know.
So Croker writes, the death coach is called in Irish a coach a bower. The time of its appearance is always midnight, and when heard to drive round any particular home with a coachman's whip cracking loudly, it is said to be a sure omen of death. The following account of the Dualhan and their coach was communicated to the writer by a lady resident in the neighborhood of Cork. They drive particularly hard whenever a death is going to take place. The people about here thought that the road would be completely worn out with their galloping before Mrs. Spires died. On the night the poor lady darted, they brought an immense procession with them, and instead of going up the road as usual, they turned into Tivoli, the lodge people. According to their own account, were killed from them that night. The coachman has a most marvelously long whip, with which he can whip the eyes out of anyone at any distance that dare to look at him.
What a wiener.
I thought it was a spine, though.
It's a whip made from human spine.
Okay.
I suppose the reason he is so incensed at being looked at is because he cannot return the compliment. On the count of having no head. What a pity it is none but the Doolahans can go without their heads. Some people's head would be no loss to them or anyone else.
No, I think politicians typically run around without their. Oh no, it's the brains. They're like the scarecrow.
Their heads are just buried.
So
The Doolah.
it's a Doolahan.
He's cursed your tablet.
So there, interesting enough, there's multiple other sightings of the Doolahan, but most of them seem to come from more modern era. And this last one comes from County Dawn by W.J. Fitzpatrick. He claims that I seen the Doolahan myself, stopping on the brow of the hill between Bryansford and Moneyscalp late one evening, just as the sun was setting. It was completely headless, but it held its own head in its hand, and I heard it call out a name. I put my hand across my ears in case the name was my own, so I couldn't hear what it said. When I looked again, it was gone. But shortly afterwards, there was a bad car accident on that very hill, and a young man was killed. It had been his name that the Doolahan was calling.
How did he know? He closed his ears.
Well, I think it was more of a inference at that point.
Okay. Does anybody have anything else to add about the Doolahan, aka the Dark Man, aka the Headless Horseman, aka? No, apparently not. Okay. So if you've seen the Doolahan and like have a legit story, let us know. We'd love to hear it.
Absolutely.
So let's talk about banshees. Also, not a fan of gold. This we know from at least from the TV show Supernatural. But let's talk about banshees. Jamie, you had some good notes on banshees. I know Terry's got some good notes on banshees.
Yeah, so there's a lot out there, conflicting, and so you know what? We'll just kind of dive right. So
The best way to do it.
right.
Head first.
If I'm wrong, but I don't know. Okay, so Banshee, obviously Irish, but it goes, there's Banshees in Scotland, and I mean, they just seem to kind of transcend all sorts of places. So the Banshee is known for its mournful wailing scream, and usually that happens in the night, and is believed to foretell the death of a member of the family of the individual who hears the spirit. So a banshee can appear in a number of different forms, such as like a beautiful young woman combing her long hair with a silver comb. She can also appear as a stately matron, and also as an ugly old hag. So
That's the
Jeez. No, it's really not.
That's what she said, and literally, you witnessed it. That's what she said.
So it's described that the banshee is usually dressed in a gray or white hooded cloak. Her scream has also been described as like sonic. Usually banshees are women, although I did come across something that said that there has been a couple reports of a male banshee, and they call it a banhee. So when I tried to dive into this one a little bit more, I came up with nothing. So,
Never heard of that.
yeah, I was a little surprised. So who does the banshee cry for? Okay, so the banshee, according to Irish tradition, banshee is only able to cry for the 5 major Irish families. And those families are the O'Neills, O'Briens, the O'Connors, the O'Grady's, and the Kavanaghs. But over the decades, obviously intermarriage has extended this select list. Each banshee has their own mortal family, and it's said out of the love that she follows the old race across the oceans to distant lands.
So if your name's Smith, sorry, there's no warning coming.
You get blindsided.
Is that even Irish though?
Well,
What, Smith?
Yes.
yeah, I mean, the
That's
mixed
Smith would be in
intermarriage,
everything.
Yeah, Smith's
But
everywhere.
no, it's I also read that the Fitzgeralds were added into that. And then even just it says those that were of the high Milesian race, which would be any of the names that have O or Mac. as a prefix, which that almost includes almost everybody. Except for Smiths, unless you're Mac Smith. Which I don't think I've ever seen a McSmiths. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
No, you're fine. So, according to mythology, if the banshee is spotted, apparently she will then vanish into a cloud of mist, and this action will create a sound that is similar to a bird flapping its wings. They've also been known to perch on windowsills, apparently, until the
Sorry, I was
death
trying to
occurs.
give, I was trying to give some effect.
Bird wings, everybody.
Gong.
So, and a lot of people think that, well, the banshee causes death, and so according to Irish folklore, it states that a banshee doesn't actually cause death, only serves as a warning of it. So, I'm going to go over some of the weaknesses of the banshee. So, weakness of the banshee is said to be cold forged iron. So, salt can also repair the banshee, as it is considered pure and something that a spirit world hates.
So, funny enough, it's the one thing that Supernatural got right.
Well, actually,
no, because theirs was a malevolent banshee, not a
Yeah,
banshee
so there's-
linked to fairy lore.
because most banshees are benign. They're actually friendly. They're there. It's a good thing.
There was actually, the families wanted a banshee. I mean, granted, they're telling you and foretelling of death, but it prepared the family because then they knew that something was going to happen. So families actually wanted a banshee.
Exactly.
That's why only the aristocrats could have
But
such
in the
things.
TV show with Supernatural and Sam and Dean Winchester,
God bless the Winchesters.
there's I don't even know how much stock you can even put onto this TV show. But
Oh, it's fun. Come on.
it is fun. It is fun. Theirs was a malevolent banshee, and the scream of that banshee drew the people crazy, where they would bang their head hard enough to crack their skull open so the banshee could eat their brains. So basically, it was a zombie banshee.
That's what I was just gonna say. It's a cross.
So, and that banshee also traveled through mist. And so there was some stuff that crossed a little bit, and it only preyed at night. But you could kill it with a gold blade. It was a golden blade that they had to stab the banshee with to kill it at the end of the episode.
Interesting.
And also, according to Dean Winchester, they're dickbacks.
There is another similar sister to the banshee. Banshees were considered benign. They supposedly have a sister force who isn't, and this was called the Leanin. Now I don't speak Gaelic. I wish I did, but the Leanin Sea, whatever I probably butchered it. But her sole purpose was to seek the love of mortal men. Their desire for her ultimately destroys it. So maybe this is kind of a similar thing. She just kind of manipulates them and then beats their brains against a wall and sucks out their brains like a yolk.
So I also read that the tradition of the banshee dates back to the 8th century. Was that some woman took on the role of a keener, which is a person who wails or sings in grief for a dead person, right? At funerals, where they sang sad songs at a graveside. The best keeners attended the funerals of the affluent and well-known people, and were well paid by the wealthy families. Many powerful found families referred to their keeners as bean side or fairy women, and fairies being more talented singers than the human race. This is where the name banshee was. That's what I got.
That's interesting.
And
I like it.
this kind of goes in like the whole professional mourners, and that's not anything that's new. I mean, lots of cultures have professional mourners.
I've been paid to mourn.
Wow. How do you get that job? Tell us more.
I'm interested.
Me too.
I'll send you the.
Okay, I'm gonna be honest. I'm really not interested. I just don't care.
It's a good
Oh,
gift.
someone died,
It's a
huh?
good gift.
Yeah, that sucks.
It's a good gift.
Okay, so moving on from the banshees,
Was there
what
anything
else?
else about
Yeah, was there
banshees?
anything else you had?
Yeah, actually,
Jamie's got
Well,
one more.
then continue.
I have a little more, guys. Bear with me.
That's what
So,
she said.
according to romantic Irish legend, the comb that she uses, the silver comb, to comb her long hair, she also uses it to lure innocent souls into their doom. And that's why when people see like a comb on the ground, they never pick it up, because others who've
It's
seen a creature,
gross.
yeah, If you pick it up, it's your doom, basically.
Oh, I
So
thought it
it's
was
like,
lice.
I would say
Pure
for lice, right?
That's
well, that's what I would have thought, but apparently we're wrong on
we're
that.
all wrong.
And so there's an old Irish poem that refers to the appearance of the banshee in the morning. So I'm going to read this real quick. Hast thou heard the banshee at morn, passing by the silent lake, or walking in the fields by the orchard? Alas, that I do not rather behold white garlands in hall of my fathers.
Oh, I like that.
Okay, what's next?
All right, so those are the Banshees. I did also want to add, just there is a Marvel superhero called Banshee. One of the things I was actually investigating a little more today. He is a male, and he has all this sonic boom stuff. So basically, he can control everything with his sonic voice. He can fly at the speed of sound, he can hover, he can make you go crazy with, and he can even, it's not even a hearing thing, he can also like vibrate your skull. And so, anyway, yeah. So,
That's awful.
superhero legends based off of the old legends. But he's a good guy, though. One of the X-Men.
Doesn't sound like a good guy.
No, it does not sound
No,
like
but he only uses powers for good. Well, just like
Not
the
for
Banshees.
evil.
Yeah, see? Everything that can be a weapon for good or for evil. Okay, so let's talk about the pukas.
The
Pukas.
Tell us about, Laura, what do you got about pukas?
Oh, okay, so the puka is the most feared type of Irish fairy.
Okay.
They are violent tricksters who emerge solely at night.
So it wasn't puka, it's more puka.
Yeah, that would be more it. Pukas often take the form of black horse with golden eyes and long, wild, flowing mane. They've also been known to take the form of a dog, rabbit, goat, goblin, or even a old man.
I also have a donkey, a hairy boogeyman,
Harry.
an eagle. They're shapeshifters. They
Yeah,
can change
they're
into
tiny.
anything.
A Pikachu.
But- What's a boogeyman look like?
I don't know.
And then you got
It's a
hairy
hairy
one.
It's a hairy boogeyman. It's a hairy boogeyman.
Josh,
I
have you
think-
looked in the mirror?
I think the
Bigfoot.
I
legends,
try not to.
I think that, the names of things morph over time. And I think it started off as a booger man. So it looked like a booger, and this one had hair on it. It's like a big walking booger.
It is a shapeshifter, but it's typically like a ground creature. But it has been known to be an eagle. So I don't.
It's everything.
It's a little bit of everything.
Yeah.
What else you got, Laura?
As a horse, they stampede at night, trampling fences, properties, and crops. If chickens or cows see a puka, they will be too traumatized to produce eggs or milk for weeks. Scary.
So then you know who to blame when your cow stops giving milk.
Yeah.
Or when
it's a
the-
puka.
Or when the neighbors, I always like to blame teenagers for some reason. I'm like a cranky old man. But like when something tramples over the hedges, it was the puka that did it. It wasn't me. Again, easy teenager excuses. It was the Jersey Devil that wrecked the car, Dad. I mean, come on.
I think that farmers too, they would leave, I read somewhere they would leave like their crops or a share of their crops out, hoping that would kind of appease them, so they would leave them alone. And pukas are said to have mastered human speech, and so they would use this to call their victims' names one by one from outside their house. If the person emerges, they are dragged away by the puka. But if no one comes outside, the puka will vandalize the property. So it's a lose-lose.
I'd rather have my property destroyed than be killed.
Amen.
But-
Yeah.
Does that mean Mr. Ed's a puka?
No, he's a horse, of course.
But no, yeah, they would leave parts of their
Well, the
crop
horse.
kind of as an offering to the puka
Of
for
course.
protection. And if they didn't leave part of their crops for the puka, then their crops would be caused by natural disasters or whatnot, because they wouldn't have to keep them.
Extortion. Uncool.
Many believe that that Puck from Shakespeare's A Midsummer's Night Dream is based on the puka
Oh, that's cool. I can see that.
with his mischievous behaviors.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't read that, but that totally makes sense now. So, and there's also a tale here that King Brian Baru actually was able to get 3 hairs from a puka and fashioned a saddle out of 3 hairs. How?
Ooh, he's
I have
good.
no idea. But then he was able to ride the puka. And since he was able to ride the puka, he was able to make a deal. And the 2 deals that he made was 1, a puka couldn't destroy anyone's property. And 2, the puka could never harm an Irishman unless that Irishman was drunk and out at night for ill intent.
Good thinking.
But this deal was only kept until King Brian died. And then after King Brian died, the puka was not held accountable for anything and went wild.
Free range.
Free reign.
Wow. Scaring cows.
Well, I also read that it, as it takes the form of a horse or a calf, that it rushes between a victim's legs. Did you guys say that? Did I miss that? Okay.
I didn't
That
read
it rushes between a victim's legs, which means it can't be that big of a horse. Because, unless they're really big people.
It's a miniature horse.
Yeah, a miniature horse. Rush between victims' legs and hoist them away for a mad dash across the countryside. And then, like I said, if you'd said that if people were drunk or up for no good,
For ill intent.
they would wake up, from their being passed out, all the way across the
I
countryside.
don't know how they got
How
there.
the crap did I get here? And so it also makes a likely
Then
story.
they have to walk.
A puka took me over there. when really it was just the guys at the bar that just put him in a cab and said, take him all the way over there. It said also besides horses and cows, they could take the shape of a bird or a bat, which has been known to scratch the face of its quarry, and this ominous spirit lies in wait at suitably eerie places such as a crossroads, fence, or a bridge. So if you're walking home from the bar and you're drunk or up to no good, stay away from crossroads, bushes, or fences,
Here, let me grab a
or yeah.
If you have to
I gotta
stay away
jot
from a
this down.
crossroad, how are you going to get home? You can't cross the street.
Uber. Just hope that the puka takes you the right direction.
Yeah, because you wouldn't.
Or just stay home. Just stay home. We live in a world of everybody just staying home anyway right now.
Or
So
just live next to the bar and then you don't have to ever cross the street.
just open your own bar.
Exactly.
Put a bar in your basement.
There you
You
go.
know? It's all good.
Hold on, let me jot that down.
All right. So let's talk about marrows. Who knows anything about a marrow? And this isn't bone marrow either. This is something different.
So we have some conflicting research here that I think is really interesting.
Yes.
I have read that do not confuse, but I've read both, but do not confuse the marrow with the mermaid because the marrow actually, one report says that they have feet, although bigger and longer, and webbed hands. They don't have a tail, but they do wear a cap that makes them so they can go on land.
Be a cap or a cape.
Or the sealskin cape I've read as well. But then there's other reports that say they are mermaids and they can go on land and get their legs or whatever with that cap or the sealskin. So there's some different versions here.
See, and I heard the sealskin was part of the Selkies. So the Selkies had the sealskin, whereas the Marrows have the cap or the cape.
See, and I heard the cap was a red feathered cap.
Unless I didn't know.
And Selkies are from where, Terry?
Scotland.
Scotland.
And Marrows are from Ireland.
James Bond, 007.
But I've also heard to them they were also referred to as Morgans, and water spirits, water nymphs. I've heard, there's so much out there, and
There's so much. There's a lot.
there's a lot. It's confusing, really.
But there's some commonality too. There's actually marrow men. Did
Yes.
you read that?
Who are horribly ugly.
Hideously ugly.
Awful compared to the
Yeah.
women.
Not
The
everybody.
Marrows.
Not everybody can be the beautiful ones.
No, we're blessed.
The
as
Marrows
women.
are absolutely beautiful.
That's kind of how our marriage works. She's the beautiful one.
You're the ogre.
I just
Married men.
I make it look good.
He has
Marrow
layers.
men.
He's like an onion.
Yeah.
Yes.
Did we actually refer to these as what people would mostly know them as, mermaids or sirens? I don't think we
We
said
didn't
that.
say
No.
sirens, but
I
we did
think
say
we did
mermaids.
bring
Did we
them
say
up.
mermaids?
Yeah,
okay.
Laura did say they get confused with mermaids.
Yeah, so they're also believed to be the ghosts of women who had died violent deaths by means of drowning.
Wow.
I did hear that one.
Wow.
But our potential.
Whatever. She's a strong swimmer. She'll be okay.
She is a strong swimmer. So I know that with the Marrows, they have human-like legs and huge flat feet and web fingers, kind of like what Laura was already saying. They don't have the tails. But with their cap and their cape, if a Merrow wants to walk on land, she must abandon her cap or her cape. And if a human finds and hides their cap or cape, the Merrow must agree to become his wife.
Yeah, I got that too.
Yeah. So, but if the Merrow finds her cap or cape, she's overtaken by her desire to return to the water. And it doesn't matter how many children she has, she loves her children, loves her husband, she will go back to the water every time. Just up and abandon her family and go back to the sea.
Her instinct.
So have y'all seen the movie Aquaman?
Yes.
Yeah.
Because isn't that like what his mom kind of happened? You know, she came aboard, came to land, fell in love, birthed a child, and then boom, disappears
gone.
back to the sea.
And back to the sea.
Yeah.
Child abandonment right there.
I'd forgotten about that, but yeah.
Yeah. See, and there are people, there are Irish that claim to be descendants of Merrows who were caught by fishermen.
I read that.
Yeah.
So the other thing I read is the Irish were suspicious of these sea fairies who could be violent or friendly by turn. So just at the drop of a, hat, they could just switch. They could be dangerous foes. Tales of violence, such as pulling arms and legs off of their victims, were not uncommon. Scary.
Yikes.
Violent.
One of the other things I thought was interesting and kind of comical at the same time, in some parts of Ireland, Merrows are regarded as messengers of doom and death.
That sounds like
Isn't-
a lot like
Isn't
Banshee.
like everything is a messenger during
Yeah.
Everything is a bad omen.
Everything's a bad omen.
Yeah.
It's like, oh no, if you see it, well, even like all the stupid superstitions we have now, like you see a black cat cross your path, it's like, come on, it's a cat.
Yeah.
Well, and some of these things you got to remember, like this they would tell their kids, even in folklore, to keep them away from the water and to keep them safe, right? So you would tell your kids the story of the Merrow, in an attempt to keep them safe, even. So I think all of those are rooted in something similar to that.
Okay, do we have any more on the mermaids?
Yeah.
Tell
there's
us more.
Gladly. So their songs are said to be seductive, and they call out to man, like fishermen, and that lures them to their deaths. So wasn't there something? I mean, I've heard that back, centuries ago, that fishermen often mistook manatees as mermaids.
I've heard that too.
Yeah. So maybe this is where some of this comes from,
Yeah, I think they'd been drinking. I don't think
Well,
a
you would have to
manatee
be.
is.
You'd have to be.
Well,
Yeah, they did a lot of drinking
Oh,
out there.
yeah.
Oh, and when you're out on a boat with nothing but guys and fish for a long time, what are you thinking about?
You're thinking about the women.
It's like
And the rum.
well, it's like you look at this. So in the Tetons, right? What do the Tetons stand for?
Oh,
Right?
is that what I think it is?
Yes, Tetons stand. They when the Lewis and Clark and the settlers came west, not the settlers, but the mountain men came west. They looked at the Tetons and they reminded them of breasts, and because that's what was on their minds.
I
Like
didn't
dirty
know
when,
that.
yeah, exactly. And so when you've been a long time, you haven't even seen a woman for a long time,
Even the landscape looks like
right?
That's what we call
It's what you get yeah. And or if you look at one of my favorite movies is Paint Your Wagon, and this is kind of going a little offside, but it's a mining camp, and Terry's rolling her eyes, shaking her head, and a woman comes to camp, and everyone comes from miles around just to get a look at her. So
yeah.
I'm sure that all these sailors out there on the sea just had one thing on their mind, one thing they wanted to get back to shore for, to go back and catch themselves some STDs, and so those manatees out there start looking pretty
They
good.
look pretty good.
Ooh. That one's got blonde hair. It's like, that has no hair, dude.
But aren't manatees Caribbean in nature? They wouldn't be in that kind of cold water up by Ireland, would they?
That's a good question.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm
but
from Utah.
they sell all over the place, though. Not necessarily seen in.
Well, and that's true. But if you're talking about a centuries old legend, I mean, this might be before 1492, right?
Deep Thoughts by Josh.
I tried.
Deep
Look,
thoughts.
I had some other less so deep thoughts that revolve around Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire. Because when
Well,
Harry Potter jumped into the water, right? Were those sirens? Were those mermaids? Were
They
those
were
marrows?
They had webbed hands.
Well, yeah, there was those things with the webbed hands and
Oh
webbed
my
feet
god,
that
we
had
just
like the
watched
teeth.
that. What are they called?
Did they have feet or tails?
No, see, those weren't mermaids though, because the mermaids actually had like the fish tails.
They were
But they did have
made-
sharp teeth though.
Yes,
The
they
They
mermaids.
did, but they were like attractive at first, and then they turned on a dime. They turned into these crazy, ugly, scary things that went after her.
Like a lot
when
of
they
things.
tried to save the wrong person.
Exactly.
That's just like anybody, you know. If you live nice, if you do the right thing, never mind. I'm not going to go there. To say, but you cross a woman, and yeah,
Yeah,
all of a
right.
sudden those fangs come out, and it's like, whoa,
Yeah, I'm right.
Claws too,
claws.
not
Yeah.
just fangs.
Yeah. Nice and sweet until you say something stupid, and then boom.
They were called grindelows.
Oh, Grindelows.
It's where it's kind of a squid crossed with a piranha. That's what it says. on
And
the
is
website.
that in Ireland?
What?
No,
Irish?
No, Hogwarts.
it's Hogwarts.
Hogwarts
I
is in
know.
Scotland.
That'd be British. Was it Scotland?
This-
Scotland.
British.
this
It's Scotland.
Ah,
I'm just trying to point out how far off track we are.
I know, right?
We are.
We're totally off track. We should
So,
totally cut this all out.
let's get back on track, and let's talk about the last of our folklorish creatures, and the one that I think most of us have been indoctrinated with because we ate his cereal.
Tony the Tiger.
It would be Lucky the Leprechaun and his wonderful Lucky Charms.
If you're basing leprechauns on cereal mascots, man, sucks to be.
I
Sucks to
just
be.
think of the leprechaun from Austin Powers. Always after charms, and he has his charm bracelet on.
Yeah.
Where I always think of Mike Myers. I'm a leprechaun. It's like when Wayne and Garth, and he scares Garth just with the flashlight. And that's making fun of the Leprechaun, the movie, the horror movie. But go ahead and tell us about leprechauns, Josh. Or would you like me to?
I'll let you tell it.
Okay. So before we jump into leprechauns, just a little bit of backstory. There were people that were called the good people. Okay. And they were thought to have evolved from the Tatha Dindananan, because that's my
That was great.
Utah speaking there. They were an Irish race of gods founded by the goddess Danu. And Irish mythology recounts that a number of successive invasions were ultimately defeated by the Milesians, and which are like the Irish hierarchy. They became like the Irish lords. But so they drove these good people, as they call them, underground. They were equipped with supernatural powers. And this is what's interesting is like, how do these, these mortals, how if these good people have these powers, these supernatural powers, how do they defeat them? I don't know. But they ended up driving them underground, and a lot of the folklore is filled with tales of them seeking vengeance, tormenting those who dwell above the ground, and so there's lots of different ones. There's different things that you could do to defend against the good people, and I'll talk about those in a minute. But according to folklore, the leprechaun was once part of the community called the Lukerpan, or the wee bodies. Now, this isn't making fun of smaller people, but it was just kind of what they had. They had small bodies. Over time, the name became corrupted, and this corruption gave rise to the notion that brog, or brogues, which are shoes, is part of the name. And the leprechauns became shoemakers for some reason to the good people, as well as the protector of their treasures. So, for whatever reason, leprechauns were identified with some very antisocial personality traits, including irascibility, cunning, double talk, and liking for their own company. So, it kind of seems like the goblins from Harry Potter, right? Just kind of, they're very good at protecting the money, and they're not really social. They kind of would rather be by themselves. They're antisocial. Yeah, just very smart. In the county Kildare, the name Lurikeen appears to be the name for leprechaun, which that makes sense too. There's still other monikers elsewhere, but throughout the country, the folklore is the same when it comes to his haunts, his habits, the hidden crocks of gold. If you should wish to seek one out, they're usually found near very old castles, and they're always engaged in making shoes for some reason. And it said, but always one, never a pair, which never made any sense to me. And any of the stuff I was reading, I'm like, why only one shoe?
Well, if you get lucky and you catch one leprechaun who makes a left shoe and one leprechaun who makes a right shoe, you can make a pair.
Yeah, but you also may end up with 2 left shoes, which is great if you got 2 left feet. But how do you know you're going to end up with a left and a right, not 2 left?
Well, if it comes up with 2 left, at least I'm good because I have 2 left feet.
Then you're destined to be a crappy dancer.
I can vouch for left feet.
Okay, so, but as the story goes, if you find one of these crafty rascals, you should draw him close without making a sound and quickly take him in your grasp. So you just reach out and grab him. You demand to know where the crocks of gold are hidden, but don't let him distract you. Because if he's like, apparently they're masters of the whole base. Like, look over there, what is that? And people fall for it, and then boom, he's gone. So, but if you take your eyes off him for just an instant, it says he'll disappear. And yeah, so interesting enough, he has a cousin called the Red Man, which is a relation to the leprechaun, but he dresses all in red and is amused by mortal terror and supposedly gives you terrifying nightmares. So just talk about that, that red cousin. Anyway, back to the leprechauns.
Well, what's funny about that, and I don't know if any of you have actually watched The Simpsons at all, but they've got, in one episode, they introduce the green leprechaun. And then, I think it was a season or 2 later, they introduced his arch rival, the red leprechaun. And then they get into a big fight.
Well, originally leprechauns wore red. Originally, they were red before they were.
I read that, but there's also, going along with what Mike said, there's also the Fardarig, which is the leprechaun's evil twin, which is red.
Mm-hmm.
So which would you rather run across, the green one or red one?
The green one.
Neither one's friendly.
Neither.
I want the gold.
But how many people have actually gotten a leprechaun's gold?
I know a few people.
Do you?
I have.
Mm-hmm.
I got it in preschool.
You did.
I got a box of it, and it had little pots of gold in it.
I got those little coins in that mesh bag that are chocolate.
Look,
That.
Oh, yeah.
ironically, that's also pirate gold, too.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah.
It doubles. Yeah.
So, interesting other thing, there are no female leprechauns,
None.
0.
right?
0.
Which would also...
So how are there so many of them?
Which would also... Well, they are supernatural beings, though, because they are part of the good people, right? So...
You'd think there'd be at least one, like a Smurfette or something.
Why do you think they're so crusty and mean?
Yeah, they're not getting any.
There's no being if you know leprechauns.
I detect a theme with you, Laura, tonight.
I'd be
I
mean
don't
too.
know.
So anything else you guys want to throw on leprechauns before I kind of go back to the good people?
Yeah, so what's interesting is, we were just kind of hitting on it, right? Is that leprechauns, there's been many reports of different looks and how they are in those things. Funny enough, it wasn't until 1825 by the same Mr. Croker, who wrote the first rendition of his book at that time. And that's when the whole solidification of what leprechauns look like was actually solidified at that point in time. It wasn't until then. So up until that point in time, they were one color or a different color, and then boom, in 1825, they're all the same.
So all through history, they could have looked like garden gnomes or...
So it's Darby O'Gill and the little people.
Yeah.
And I heard something too about it said, but other stories of leprechaun might kidnap you, replace your infant with the changeling. So here we're bringing in a changeling, which we're not talking about, or even kill you if you came too near to his treasure.
See, I know that fairies did a lot of stuff with the abducting children as well.
They would like offer their children to the fairies in some cases too for safety.
Isn't it also reported that leprechauns are at least one point in time a fairy or a type of fairy?
They are.
A water fairy is what I heard. A water dweller or something along those lines.
Which again goes into these good people. It's like supernatural.
According to Dean.
Yeah. So again, it goes into this whole race of AK, the good people. I saw it. They call it the good people lots of times, but probably because they're afraid of pissing them off, rather than calling them those darn fairies or something. Anyway,
Did you talk about what happens if you actually catch one?
Besides getting its gold?
Besides getting its gold, no.
They have to grant you 3 wishes.
Oh, that's true. I thought that was a genie.
Well,
That as well.
genies do that too, but they are very
so
tricky.
the Arabian leprechauns have to grant you.
They're very tricky with their wishes though, because you got to be careful what you wish for.
You do. They're sneaky.
They're
They can turn it.
because they will turn it on you, and they can grant wishes, but if it's out of greed, they will make sure that you get your.
So you have to enunciate too.
Be very careful.
Don't ask
Well,
for a
that's what
10-inch
you wish
pianist.
There was one tale of a man who captured a leprechaun and wished to be taken to the gold. The leprechaun showed the man the tree under which the gold was hidden, but the man didn't have a shovel to uncover the treasure. So he set the leprechaun free and marked the tree with his garter, so he could go and get a shovel. However, when he returned, he found every tree in the area had an identical garter tied to it. They're sneaky.
Yeah, they're sneaky. Be careful what you wish for.
The interesting thing is they said that the way to find one is if you listen very carefully, you can hear the tap, tap, tap of them pounding little tiny nails into shoes.
The little cobbler.
Yeah, they were cobblers. They were cobblers. Or watchmakers.
Listen.
So what do they do when they're tapping on their shoes and they run away? Are they like running, going tap 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 tap? Just curious.
Okay,
So I know what to
just drop and
listen
run.
for.
You can't leave your shoe behind.
Well, obviously. Do I just follow the tap tap tap?
You really should.
Hey,
Okay.
if you're fortunate to hear the
Noted.
tapping at all, you just let us know.
Okay,
Marco Polo us.
I will.
So, so that's kind of another thing. They also like to ride big wheels or tricycles. Isn't that from the Leprechaun movie, the horror movie?
I've never watched it.
I've never watched it either.
Isn't that with Jennifer Aniston? Oh, Terry's looking at me like
It
that's
is.
a crime.
Yes, Jennifer Aniston is in it. There are so many of them. I almost
How
marked it.
many?
Hold on, I'll tell you how many different leprechauns. They actually just made one in 2013.
Are you kidding?
I'm not kidding.
Maybe it's time to do a teen movie night.
Okay,
Right?
they're not good. Okay,
We were going to.
Oh no,
watch-
I know that. But
this isn't like The Conjuring or Annabelle. These are like things that make you go, "Wow." I mean, these are cartoon. They're funny.
oh, that's a scary looking leprechaun.
That's from the movie.
Well, they're
That's
not.
from the movie.
They're not
They're not
supposed.
pretty. They're not.
No. That's what happens when there's no female leprechauns. You start to look like that.
You just let yourself go.
Okay, Jennifer Aniston was done in 1993. There's 1, 2, 3, 6, 7, 8 different leprechaun movies.
Oh my goodness.
And people keep buying tickets and
Oh,
going.
and there was one done in 2014. That was the Leprechaun Origins.
I know what we're doing next backyard movie night.
I want to
Please-
watch.
Please tell me
It's gonna
more
be a
about
long
this
night.
Can
leprechaun.
we watch Leprechaun in the Hood?
Are you kidding? Is that what they
We're gonna
do?
do a
There's a
marathon.
Leprechaun in the Hood. It was made in
Oh.
2000.
We'll do a
Is
marathon.
it like gangs of leprechauns?
I don't know. I haven't watched it.
I can see that going
I
sideways
tried
very
to
fast.
convince Mike to watch one of these as we were doing our research, and he wouldn't.
Oh, party.
Boo.
But he let me
Oh,
watch
yes.
Supernatural, so I did my research from Supernatural.
I'll be
He has
honest.
my candy.
I'll be honest, I was lying on the couch with a headache and a CPAP on
And a blanket over his
and a
head.
blanket over my head.
Aw.
So anyway, all the fairies, leprechauns, a lot of these people they were based off of this big race, this wide-ranging race of fairies called the Good People, who were pretty much against all those who were above ground and who were mortal. So none of them leprechauns, red leprechaun guy, red man, fairies, any of them really like mortals. The ways that you could protect yourself, folks who went out and about at night would bring along a piece of glowing coal or turf stuck on a stake or a fork. If they were attacked, they would thrust the burning weapon towards the spirit's mouth. This calls them a spirit, but apparently they were people. Anyway, this would usually stop the attack, but people would also bring lanterns in case the wind and rain extinguished the flames. So these lanterns were meant purely as a defense against supernatural beings and not intended to light the way. So when you see like the old legends, they have like the old banner going out in front of them. I mean, honestly, have you ever walked down a trail holding a lantern out in front of your face? What do you see? Not a damn thing. Right? Lanterns are pretty soon going to blind you, but it protects you from all the evil. Fleeing into a graveyard or jumping across a creek were other options. And it was believed that the good people couldn't follow you into a graveyard or across water. Religious folk were aware of the nightly danger, so most of these times these things would come out at dark. And they would put their trust, the religious people put their trust in holy water. It was transported in a handful of twisted stalks or straw, about 6 inches long, which has been dipped into the consecrated water. And this is called a deshrade. That one I know is right because I have it spelled out in phonetics. So, my only Gaelic word for the night, Gaelic. And it was carried in one hand, the arm stretched out in front of the carrier. Some who even claim not to believe in supernatural still wouldn't dream of going out at night without a deshrade. And apparently that's, according to what I read, that's a very common thing that people carry those. Now I'd go to Ireland and find that they're like, what the heck were you reading and what were you smoking?
What I find interesting is they're called the good people, but they don't seem very good. They just seem very malevolent, very angry.
Dickbags.
According to Dean Winchester.
Also, according to Dean Winchester, to really distract them, you just have to drop salt or sugar on the ground, and then the leprechauns have to stop and count every little single grain that you drop on there.
And then
That's the best way to get away from
you can just stab them with gold or iron or whatever.
I don't know what.
Or you
No,
can
he
shoot
didn't kill
them.
him. He didn't kill him. There was a banishing spell.
Oh,
that
they
they
did a spell on that one.
They
Yeah.
did a banishing spell that made all of the leprechauns and fairies disappear.
They got sucked away into the
Yeah, Dean blew
universe.
up a fairy in a microwave in that episode too.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't remember that. I need to go watch that.
Yeah, it was like a little Tinkerbell thing that was kicking his butt, and he trapped it in the microwave. And he's like, "Wait, nipples?" Because it was a little naked woman.
He's like, it was a beautiful naked lady. She had nipples.
But he got her in the microwave, popped it. But he's the only one who could see.
Like, don't you see all that yuck? All that yuck? I think it was season 6.
And according to that episode as well, alien abductions were also a cover-up by the fairies.
But the
because
leprechaun was using alien abduction as a cover to distract them from the leprechauns and the fairies
Who were
taking
abducting
over the
people.
town. But they were only abducting the firstborn male of the town. Anyways, that's totally off.
No, I think that actually falls into kind of how this Irish folklore has actually kind of influenced our lives in general, right?
Oh yeah.
Because if you look at it, Lucky the Leprechaun with Lucky Charms cereal, right? But
Yeah.
But you also have Tinkerbell.
Yeah.
Ariel.
Mm-hmm. Mermaid.
Banshees, Splash.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
Okay, so it was season 6 of Supernatural, episode 9, titled "Clap Your Hands If You Believe."
Go watch it, everybody.
Because
Hit the research.
you clapped your hands to believe in Tinkerbell to bring her back. Anyways.
oh yeah. So,
No, but that's a valid point, Josh. Like,
No.
you don't even realize how far that, their folklore has spread and how much it has attributed and we've been exposed to as we've, grown up and through the years. And
You don't even realize it.
yeah.
Don't even realize it.
well, who hasn't heard the term "screaming like a banshee"? That just, and you don't even realize. You don't think about what
What it is.
is a banshee that's screaming.
Yeah. And so, I mean, you look at St. Patrick's Day, right? So obviously that was just this last Wednesday, and everyone celebrates that. But it's like no one even thinks twice anymore about that. Or even Halloween, right? Which is very Irish in tradition as well. And so there's all of these things that have influenced our lives here in the U.S. that we no longer think about it or the actual roots of where that stuff comes from.
Nor do we even know.
Well, exactly.
Well, there's a lot of similarities to elves with all that too, with the fairies and with the leprechauns and stuff. Because I mean, in the movie Elf, even he talks about the elves who aren't good enough to work at the North Pole, they make shoes, or they bake cookies. But yet leprechauns supposedly made shoes. So I mean,
there's a reference there.
I don't know. There's similarities all over the place, which tells you that they have to be true.
They are.
Because multiple stories, uncorroborated all at the same time.
All matching up.
But it's real. It's all real.
I believe.
I believe. I believe. I believe. I believe there's a lot to cut out of this episode. So, all right, we'll leave it with that because
I think it was a great episode.
I hope you all enjoyed it. I hope you all had a happy St. Patty's Day. And go check us out. Go to our websites. Again, on social media, we got Facebook pages, we got Instagram.
What are our websites?
What are the websites again, Josh?
So our website is paranormalhope.com.
What is Paranormal Hope?
So if you are experiencing any issues in your home that you'd like to have us come look at and help you out, you just go onto our website and fill out the form and we'll get in contact.
And if you don't have anything going on in your home, good for you. That's awesome. But you can still find us on our Facebook pages at...
So, at Cold Spot Paranormal Research, we have a Facebook page and a Facebook group. And we also have the Facebook group Paranormal Peeps Podcast. So come check us out.
If you have something fun to say, just pop us a message, drop us a direct message. If you have a fun story, well, all right. And then our Instagram page, Cold Spot _ paranormal _ research. All right.
Thanks for listening.
Thanks for listening. Go have fun. Go do something fruitful with your life.
Stay ghosty, my peeps.
Thank you for listening to the Paranormal Peeps podcast. You can find us on social media at Twitter at CPR Paranormal, on Facebook at Paranormal Peeps Podcast and Cold Spot Paranormal Research. And you can find us on Instagram at Cold Spot _ paranormal _ research.